fun.
Let's bring in Bill O'Reilly. First, let me just ask you an optics thing. Also, let me give you a little bit of a shout out there. Bill's got a new podcast. It's called We'll Do It Live, which is a very clever play on just one of the many moments in his storied career. In terms of the dynamic here, what is your assessment of how the negotiations seem to be being approached by the various parties here? Is this America letting the regime lead?
There's an accommodation being made by President Trump because he does this in his negotiating history. He wants to get a deal. And he told me 4 weeks ago that this was his preference, not military action. And he thought he might be able to crack the first wave of the mullahs before they are dearly departed. But that didn't happen. Now, the mullahs basically are playing to their jihadist crew. So they're not going to admit any weakness. They're going to say, we're going to do X, Y, and Z.
This one's fairly fresh. It's about 2 months old.
But the power is all in the hands of the United States and Israel at this point.
Hegseth saying we know exactly what they have. Israel doesn't say they know exactly what they have. Obviously, there was a miscalculation during the initial campaign last summer, and the assessments were grossly exaggerated, if not outright deceptive. But they haven't had any real monitoring in 5 years.
No, but the director, Rafael Grassi, on March 22nd of this year, made it very clear that he believes the enriched uranium in Iran stands at 60%. So why would he say that? He would say,
well, that's not exactly what he said. He said that they have 60.
I got the quote right here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Well, battling quotes then.
Well, what'd you think? I'm just going to let you take it out of context, like you did on your show last night? Not here.
Uh-oh.
Here, we're going to give you the context. The
No,
context
I didn't take it out of context on my show.
Yeah, you did.
No, you said, quote, we don't know what the nuclear capabilities were.
Yeah,
Rossi
that's right.
knows. Rossi knows. So it's who's we?
No, he doesn't.
No,
he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Here's what he said. He said that they have 60% enriched uranium. Why? Because Iran says they were going to do it after what they said was Israel hitting one of their enrichment facilities. They were never able to go in and verify it. The weeks away idea, says Grassi, is a hypothetical that could be enriched further. However, he says, that is only one step in building a usable nuclear weapon that could take additional complex steps that could take months or even years.
All right, look.
That's the context.
You can believe.
Uh-oh, somebody got caught lying.
Believe what you want to believe, but
No,
I'm
Bill,
believing his
just
words.
say,
Believe what you want to believe. He just read the exact quote. What are you talking about, Bill?
just say, I'm corrected, let's move on. And
I'm not
let's
going to
move
say
on.
that
There's more to
because
talk
it wouldn't
about.
be true. You made the mistake, and this is the quote.
No, I did not make a mistake.
All right, then
go ahead.
Keep quiet for a second.
No, it's my show,
In a debate on his show. Yeah, keep quiet. No, fuck you, old man.
pal. If you don't like it, you can
You
go.
don't want me to read the quote because it's going to make
go ahead,
you
read
look
it.
foolish.
Read it.
All right,
read it.
here's the
and
quote.
Don't point. Be a
Margaret
man. Don't be
Brennan.
a big mouth.
Ooh.
Read it.
Margaret Brennan, this is a quote that Grassi gave her. One, most notably, the inventory of enriched uranium at 60%, which is very close to the degree you need to make a bomb. That's what the man said. Now, where did he get his
and he
information?
said more than that. He said, well, first of all, that's a good question. I'll give you that one. That one's not.
He said he was just going off what Iran said, too. He didn't. That's not a confirmation. That's just saying, restating the facts that are already in front of you. That doesn't mean you're saying it's true.
Some ham-fisted, opportunistic judgment.
He got it from Mossad and the American intel agencies.
No,
Yes.
that's not what he says. He says they still have their own surveillance mechanisms. It's just been broken down over time, and that they haven't had any real eyes on the situation for years.
Look,
which is why no one really knows, Bill. I know they have things. We just don't know how much. And
Cuomo,
it doesn't really matter because they're saying they won't stop.
if you
That's
have
the state of
any
play.
shred of logic left, if Iran didn't have uranium enriched to 60%, why wouldn't they let weapons inspectors in?
Oh, listen, they did
Why doesn't Israel? Why doesn't Israel let inspectors in? Huh? No one wants to talk about that ever.
let weapons inspectors in before they had 60% because they're a bunch of psycho zealots that want to destroy everyone they can.
Okay, so
they are liars and cheaters.
You're watching your country be dismantled, and you don't have a nuclear system. So why don't you just say, well, we'll let you in?
Who's saying they don't have
Mr.
a nuclear
Rossi?
system?
I'm
saying
I'm
that we
posing
keep
a
hearing from the
hypothetical
administration.
question. It doesn't make any sense.
It's called a straw man argument. Go look up what a straw man argument is, Bill. This is where you make up an argument that's a proof of a proposition that has a flawed premise.
Why do that when
I'm
your
not
country is
saying-
being destroyed?
What?
Well, first of all, they don't care about the country. They care about their own existence, which it seems the
their own
administration is
existence
okay with.
is in play. It's in play.
Is it? Trump
Yeah.
has said he's not going to change the regime, and he's negotiating with them right now like they were an ally.
They had to kill 30,000 of their own people just recently.
Yes, because they hate their own people.
Because we armed them and told them to go revolt in the streets. What would happen to them here if they did that? Probably the same thing.
Because they're terrible people. They don't love their country. They don't love their people. It's all expendable. These
People
are
believe what
terrorists,
they
Bill.
want to believe. If you don't believe
No, Bill, that
Iran
that's a
doesn't
cop-out.
have a nuclear capability.
No, I don't believe that.
Okay.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And it's not what I said, Mr. Accuracy. What I said was, Mr. No Spin, was we don't know what they have. That's what I said. And you know who agrees with me? The head of the IAEA. You know who else? Israel. You know who else? America, except Pete Hegseth. The intelligence people who I speak to, the guys in Riyadh that are conducting the operations and surveillance, they don't know exactly what they have. They don't know how close they were to a weapon. They just say, we got to make sure they could never have one, which is fair. Which is fair.
You said the justification for this war is a question mark. Not to me.
Yes.
There's enough evidence that shows that the Iranians were working to build a nuclear weapon. And the evidence is down from Rossi to Mossad to the U.S. intel services. That's enough for me, Cuomo. It's not enough.
So let's go bomb them, with the people who are just better at lying and covering it up. Let's do that. That's smart. That's smart.
For you, okay. What else you got?
Well, it's when you say it's enough, you're choosing to believe that there was an imminent threat that the president never specified. They're saying now they don't know where the stuff is. For all of the bombing that they've done, just had this guy enumerate them, over 10,000 hits. We still don't know where the nukes are, or how you get them, or how you go about getting them.
You don't know,
and that's all.
You don't know what the CIA knows. Look, I don't use Pete Hegseth on my program.
He's the Secretary of War.
I don't use him because what he says plays into a narrative that the administration wants the American public to believe. So why would I use somebody like that? I'm not disrespecting
You seem to be echoing the narrative.
I'm not echoing.
As if anyone else in the administration isn't the same bullshit. It's all bullshit. You can't use anyone from the administration, I guess.
You seem to be echoing the narrative. You don't need him. You say the same thing he does.
I say there's enough evidence that they were close to enriching this bomb coming from other sources that I believe in. And I don't believe there's a fraud going on because Trump would be absolutely insane because it may break his legacy. And I said at the very beginning, it's the biggest gamble he's ever taken. If they didn't know anything, why would they do this?
I thought the tariffs were the biggest gamble he'd ever taken.
Well,
Or blackmail.
this makes the
And I
tariffs.
thought this was actually a nice pivot away.
This makes the tariffs look like a weekend in Mar-a-Lago. It doesn't make any sense.
If you're not a small business owner in America, because they're getting crushed by those tariffs.
Okay, fine. This is bigger. And what is interesting is the reportage on this is terrible because very few civilians, journalists, know. You don't know. But when you have experts like Grassi and other people coming out, and I used one of them, Lindsey Graham, okay? And he walked
Wait, hold on. You can't use Pete Hegseth because he's just a reflection of the administration, but you can use Lindsey Graham for some reason. Really? Really?
True. Okay, you laughing at Lindsey Graham, but that's
in his face.
That's
in his face.
Yeah.
You won't use Pete Hegseth, but you use Lindsey, bomb first, check second, Graham. That guy wants to bomb every country every 5 minutes, Bill.
the information that he had. We verified.
Oh, we believe this part of his information. We just ignore the other shit, I guess. Okay, cool. Can't do that for Hegseth, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How? Isn't it classified? Isn't he one of the Gang 8?
No, we verified it from the IAEA. And
But the
so,
IAEA hasn't checked, Bill. There's no. You couldn't have Grassi on your show and have him say, we think they were weeks away from
Hey, we checked with somebody. It doesn't matter.
a nuclear weapon. He
there's
wouldn't
a
say that.
thread. Okay, there's a thread that goes through. Perhaps the best intel of this is Mossad. You certainly wouldn't quibble with that.
Yes, let's believe anything Mossad says, because they're not lying to us about their own nuclear capabilities or anything. Great allies.
I think that they have excellent intelligence
Okay.
infrastructure. They're also
So we
not
verified-
leaning on, but they're not leaning on the enrichment program the way America is. They just want to kill the regime because the regime wants to kill them.
This is a pretty explicit statement on March 22nd. That's it. It's explicit. It's CBS News. He went on. He said it. Okay?
Yeah,
and
I
then,
know, but he
along
also
with
said
all of
more
the
than
other
that.
things, this is
He
the
said more than
reason. This is the reason. Now, does NATO believe this? No. They don't want to believe it.
No. Hold on. Let's say it's true, Bill. Let's say it's true.
Okay.
What do you do with the fact that they say it's not in the 10 points? We're not here to discuss not enriching uranium. So Trump stops saying we're not going to enrich uranium because we are. If you don't want us to have a bomb, well, let's talk about it. But that's not even on the table. So how do you change that? Do you believe they have a plan to change that?
I don't understand the question. The president has been very explicit, and he said it 1,000 times, that Iran is not going to be able to get a nuclear weapon.
Oh, really?
Right.
Okay.
And they say they got him now. They say they got him because of our actions. They weren't getting him, but we killed the guy that didn't want him to get him, and now they got him. Good job, Trump.
And what's the question then?
How do you achieve that? You can't even open the Strait of Hormuz.
Well, they could open it, and this.
Really?
Yeah.
They're choosing not to?
Of course, they don't want to put infantry in or use naval vessels at this time. But that would take maybe.
This is how silly these neocons sound. I debated Matt Vann the other night, and his claim was the same thing, just like this. I said, Iran says they have nuclear weapons now. And he said, I don't believe them. And I'm like, why would you not believe them? You've been hearing that they were going to get them in 2 weeks for like 20, 30 years now. So since we've bombed them, it's been 2 months. So are you saying that all those were lies? Because that's the only way that makes any sense. If the people we're believing to start this war says they're going to have them in 2 weeks, and then 2 months pass, and they say they have them, why is that so hard to believe?
2 days to clear that strait with American military might. But it would be close quarter combat, and Americans won't, at this point, they will not accept that. And so that's why it hasn't been done. But Iran doesn't control anything. They lob some drones, and so the insurance companies won't insure the tankers.
Yeah, and that is giving them control of the flow.
Not giving
to
them
say
anything.
that they're not controlling the strait.
It's an act of war, not giving them anything. If
An act of war to close down the strait that runs right past their country after we just bombed a bunch of all-girls schools and, tried to kill them. We killed their leaders, but it's an act of war. They're starting that war with us, right? Because they're not just letting us go kill their people like we want. Is that the fucking argument here? Literally, that's what he is saying. It was an act of war for them to close the strait, but not to blow up all those little girls. That was just, an incursion.
the United States military wanted to go in and clear Hormuz, they could clear it very quickly. But that would require more casualties and close quarter combat. So the decision has been made not to do it yet. That's the reality.
I can't wait till all these neocons start coming out and saying, yeah, it probably was a bad idea to go and invade Iran. We probably shouldn't have done that. But they'll still they'll still like stand for the next time. The next time they want to go to fight some war for no reason, they'll still say, yes, let's do that. That's how stupid these people are. And it drives me crazy that no one can see through their bullshit.
All right. Well, let's see if they have their talks at the end of the week. See if this comes to anything. I'm sure, I would hope, everybody hopes it comes
Did it? No.
to something. The last thing we want to see is
Not
more bloodshed
everybody
in that region.
hopes. Not everybody
Well,
hopes. You know that.
Anybody who listen, I gotta be honest. This doesn't work for me as a narrative. The idea that if you criticize what this president is doing, if you criticize the how, that means you hate the country and want them to lose,
No,
or you
that's not
support
it,
the regime.
though. You can criticize Trump all day long. And I think when
Not
history
Trump.
unfolds.
What's happening here? What's
Okay.
happening here? I'm not talking about him personally. I'm not going after his language.
And
I'm
that's
looking at
fine.
what's happening.
But I think when history unfolds, you're going to see that mistakes were made in the way this campaign was conducted. I think that'll happen.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you listen closely to many media and some Democrats like Murphy of Connecticut, they want Iran to win. They want
believe
them
it.
to win.
believe
Sorry,
it.
it's a reality.
Well, that's what you say. It's not necessarily
I can
what they think.
We already went through the quote thing. I can drag out 15 quotes
Yeah, I
on
know.
that.
Bill must have stole their diary. He knows what they want. He knows what's in their soul. He can tell you.
We're losing.
And I can call Chris Murphy and ask him, "Do you want Iran to win?"
Of
And
course
he'll say,
he's
"You
not
mean
gonna
the
say
people?"
yes.
You mean the regime? No. Oh, so he won't admit it, but you know it's true.
Look, this loon,
Yeah, he just called it a fact. It's a fact. They want that. I know this.
this loon Murphy actually said that the U.S. military is losing. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they're not blowing up as much shit, but Iran did shut down the strait and we can't open it. So they're kind of winning. They're crushing the entire world economy. And if that's what they want to do, they're doing a good job of it. That's what he's saying.
Well, I think the administration has put the U.S. military into a
I think Bill thinks we're winning this war because we killed more little girls than they killed. Oh, yay. To the victor go the spoils.
bad
Do you
position.
think the military
with
is
the choices
losing,
that it's made.
Cuomo? Do you think
No,
he's okay?
no.
All right.
The
Do you
might
think it's
is overwhelming.
responsible for a U.S. senator to say the U.S. military is losing? Do you think that's responsible?
In our political state of play, I can't believe it's not worse. I can't believe he didn't throw 5 F-bombs in there. These people, the state of play, which you only really want to pay attention to one half of, they lie and they are cheapening anything close to true or real all the time for sport and clicks. So of course it's responsible. This is the game. This is how they talk to one another. Your boy Lindsey Graham can't say enough, crazy hyperbolic things. This is what they do, Bill. You know that.
I know that. But we verify what they say. And nobody would verify that the U.S. military is losing. So why would a sitting U.S. senator...
Are we accomplishing the goals we went over there for? We went there to try and make them not be able to have nuclear weapons. Now they claim they have a few. So did we win that? Let's see. We were going to take out the regime, right? We killed a couple of people. Now their sons are in charge, and they're a lot meaner than their fucking dads, apparently. So was that a victory? No. Pretty much everything we've gone over there to do, we fucked up. So yeah, we're losing this war. No, doesn't matter how much shit you blow up. This is not a game of blow up each other's shit. They can't reach us. We got that. So what are you talking about? Yeah, we're losing.
Opinion based on the fact that
why would
he
they
wouldn't say it. Here's why he'd say it. Because you went in there, said this was going to basically be a breeze. You didn't sell it before. You didn't go through the normal channels. You didn't build up an alliance. And it has not been a breeze. And they are still alive and calling the shots. And that makes it look like.
And what Chris isn't noticing, because he's an Italian, is that they also are in a much better spot than they were in before we started the war. They can negotiate now a strait that they weren't even bothering with before. They have nuclear weapons now, which is the main reason we were going there, supposedly, to stop that. So how is it a victory when everything you're trying to accomplish, the opposite happens? You still call that a victory because you blow more shit up? Okay, cool.
we're not being as effective as we're supposed to.
That's not
he
what they're
exaggerates
saying.
it and says the military is losing. Same way you took one part of Grassi's quote and made it that they're weeks away from a nuclear weapon. He never said that, and
Yes,
he certainly
did.
didn't mean it.
Yes,
No, he didn't.
He
He didn't
said,
say they're weeks away
which
from a
is
nuclear
very
weapon.
close to the degree you need to make a bomb.
But he never said he knew they were at that point. Like he already read the preface before that and said he's just going off of what Iran claims. So he doesn't know that.
And
All
here's
right?
the part you
That's
don't
what
understand.
he said.
Here's the part you don't understand. Having enriched uranium that is bomb grade is different than having a bomb.
Okay, so
It
Grassi
is a very
doesn't
dangerous
understand
step.
it either. He's in charge.
No,
and
he
only-
understands.
Yeah, he don't understand it because you didn't understand what he said. Whatever, old man. It's time to retire.
Only you understand it. Grassi
No,
doesn't
no.
understand
Listen.
it, and O'Reilly
No,
doesn't
Bill, you
No, Bill, you know what everyone's thinking. You've already told us. You know what's in their diaries.
understand it.
Bill, you're
Okay.
better. You're better than that.
I know, well,
He
I'm
gets
much
it.
better than what we're hearing tonight.
Well,
but
listen,
that's okay.
listen.
This is robust
Anytime-
debate. This is what we should
I'm
be
happy
doing.
to have it.
And we
I'm
can-
happy to have it.
What we should be doing. Not saying the U.S.
happy to have
military is losing. You ought to get
Yeah, don't say it. If you don't say it, it won't come true.
Murphy
I'm not
on.
saying that.
He's the worst. He's the absolute worst.